In this session, we're going to talk about accepting realities that different capacity is okay and that the pace of the child equals the pace of the family. Now, for those of you that have watched race car driving like NASCAR, you see the front pace car sets the pace for the track at the beginning of a race and at necessary times during a race. Now, when you have a child with autism living in your home, a lot of times you have to allow them to be your pace car for your home. They have to be the one to set the pace for your family. Why? Because their capacity is unique and special. They have different needs and sensory issues that are too fast of a pace can hinder in a great way. Allowing your child with autism to be the pace car is going to bring a lot more peace to your home. Autism requires a lot of adjustments for the person that has it and for that person's family. We had to adjust our schedules. We had to adjust our eating habits. We had to adjust our style of communication. We had to adjust our expectations. We had to adjust our approach to just about everything. But we love our son, so we adjusted. Our son currently drives himself to school and his job, takes college classes, hangs out with his friends, and is doing great. How did we get to this point of our oldest son doing okay in life, even with the diagnosis of autism? We did this by adjusting, but we also did this by allowing him to be the one to set the pace for our family. We set the pace for our family for what he could handle. Sometimes we pushed the boundaries of this to try to stretch him, but when he was done, we were done. He was our pace car. He set the speed. If we were at a family get-together or a party and he needed to leave, then we needed to leave. We planned our weekly schedule and monthly calendar off of what he could handle. If we were going to have small group from our church over at our house on a Sunday night, then we wouldn't have anyone over to our house for dinner for several more nights so he could have a break from the noise and interaction. When he was younger, we drove him to and from school every day instead of him being a bus rider, so that he wouldn't need to handle the noise and interaction in the school bus before or after his full school day of noise and interaction. Most days after school, we drove straight home so that he could have some quiet space to unwind from the sensory overload that he experienced at school each day. If a restaurant had too strong of a smell to it when we entered, we would pick a different place to eat. He set the pace. Here are some specific ways that we have done this. Number 1, we accepted the realities of living with a child with autism. He is our kid. And we love him. So we loved him by adjusting to his special needs, not fighting against those special needs. Number 2, we chose to focus on his abilities, not his disabilities. He can answer a math question or fix a computer problem in his sleep. However, hanging out with a group of people, that's exhausting to him. While he's at church every Sunday with a large group of people, he normally sits in the quiet sound tech booth, serving and helping to run the worship lighting and sound. He's good at it. Focusing on what he's good at has helped him and removed a lot of frustrations for us. Number 3, we set schedules and routines that would not overwhelm him or us. As I mentioned before, when he was done, we were done. If it didn't work for him, it didn't work for us. And a lot of times, school was the only thing he could do that day. So we ate dinner at home and let our house be a place of calm in the evenings. The 4th thing is we made life adjustments to what he could handle. Our son can't handle the strong smells of coffee or fish, so we don't eat in coffee shops or seafood restaurants. If someone does order fish at a restaurant, they sit at the other end of the table. When he was younger, our son could not handle the texture of gritty sand and the breeze that came from the ocean. So we limited our time at the beach when we take our family vacations. It's not that we never left the house. It's that we adjusted our leaving and going to what he could handle. The 5th thing is we let him be him. Some days he needed to sit in a recliner with a blanket wrapped around him and pet our dog. He needed grounding techniques. Those things help those with autism to reset. Letting him be him provided those opportunities to reset when he needed to so that he was ready to go when we needed to go. Letting him be him was the best for all of us. Now, think about this right now and write down and ask yourself the questions, in what ways do I need to let my child set the pace for our home? Take a good 15 minutes or more and write down all the ways the pace for your home needs to change in order to accommodate your child's unique needs. I'll tell you, if you don't allow your child to be the one to set the pace for your home, you will definitely have a lot of rough days. A person with autism cannot thrive in the wrong environment. Let me say that again, but remove the word autism. A person can't thrive in the wrong environment. This really goes for all of us. If the environment does not meet the needs of a person, rough days are ahead. And when a child with autism lives in a home that they are not the pace car, overload is bound to happen in many ways. And when overload happens, behaviors will change, and so will the mood and the temperature of your home. And sensory overload will cause behaviors such as rocking, screaming, lack of appetite, difficulty sleeping, aversion to doing anything, and on and on. No one wants their child to act this way. If your child is showing any of these behaviors, something is off. Find out what that something is and readjust the pace of your family to help it. Over the many years, we experienced all of these things. We had to stop and learn what was causing the behaviors. Every behavior has a cause. Find out what it is and adjust the pace. Although your child is the pace setter, sometimes like cars, they still need a little push. What are the other race cars on the track trying to do to the pace car? They are trying to push the pace car along. They are right behind that pace car prodding because they want that pace car to go faster. Just like those other cars pushing that pace car to go, we have done that to our oldest son. As we let him set the pace, we have been behind him, pushing him to help him go. We know that there's a difference between can't and won't. When he was at the point of can't, then we stopped. When he was at the point of won't, then we pushed. Autistic people are like all people. We need to be encouraged to be the best we can be. Put clear and high expectations on people, and no matter who they are, they will usually rise to the occasion. We trusted our oldest son could do this, and he has. I want you to stop right now and answer these two questions. Number one, in what ways does your family need to stop in order for your child with autism to be the pace setter? And number two, in what ways do you need to push your child with autism to grow and to go? Now here's a side note. We have 3 children, and our son with autism is the oldest. Our other children have totally accepted that our oldest is the pace setter for our family and have also done well in this environment. Our 2 other kids have become a strong advocate for their brother and have compassion and understanding about the special needs of others. Allowing our oldest to be the pace setter has strengthened our family, not the opposite. However, as our children have gotten older, our younger 2 definitely spend more time in active things than our oldest. Sometimes when they go out with their friends, our oldest stays home while our younger 2 go. Just figure out what's best for your family and go with it. However, I would say that letting our oldest set the pace has not stopped our other kids from thriving. It has, in fact, helped them to be better humans. Go ahead and stop the video now. Answer the questions of what you need to do to allow your child to be the pace setter, and what ways that you need to pause things to help him to have more time to be settled, and what ways you need to push him to help him to go. Go ahead and take some time now to answer those questions.